Good evening. I would like to call this regular meeting of the Muscle Shoals Board of Education to order. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Woolfolk, will you please call the roll? Here.
Here. Here. Here.
Here.
Dr. Holdham, we have a quorum.
All right, Madam President, item C is the agenda, and I recommend approval of the agenda as presented.
Board, our first order of business is to approve the agenda as presented. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Mr. King. We have a motion to approve the agenda. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, Dr. Holden, the agenda has been approved as presented.
All right, thank you. Under correspondence, I do have some correspondence from the Alabama Association of School Boards tonight, specifically on School Board Member Academy achievements, and we have 3 board members who have achieved a new level in the School Board Member Academy, and that is, and I've got a certificate first of all for Mr. Corey King for the completion of a level 2 in the School Board Member Academy. So congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
All right. And then Dr. Marilyn Davis has achieved Master First Year, and she will be getting a plaque at Delegate Assembly. So I don't have anything to give you tonight other than just to congratulate you, but you will be recognized at Delegate Assembly, and we congratulate you for that. And then Mr. Clayton Wood, Master Honor Roll, and I get to give you a plaque for your plate at home that I know is displayed somewhere.
I was wondering where that was.
Maybe on the mantle there. But you have something to add to that plaque, Mr. Wood, so congratulations. And you'll get to wear a gold badge at the next meeting of the Alabama Association of School Boards. So maybe we'll get a picture of that and send it out to everybody. So congratulations to all of you, and for all board members, I think all, no, yeah, it's everybody. I have your, there's Dr. Davis, Mr. Wood, Mr. King, Ms. Allman, and Dr. Stoddard. This is your transcript with the School Board Member Academy, so you kind of know where you are, how far along you are in their academy, and when you'll reach your next level. So congratulations to all of you on that. All right, next item is the minutes from the last 2 meetings, and so I recommend approval of those meeting minutes.
Board, the superintendent has recommended approval of the board meeting minutes as presented. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Stoddard. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, Dr. Holden, the motion carries.
All right, and just for the benefit of the audience, that was the July 23rd regular meeting and the July 30th special call meeting. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda action items are, the board has been furnished with background material on each item or has discussed the item at a previous meeting. Consent agenda items will be acted upon with one vote without discussion. If a board member wishes to discuss any item, it will be pulled from the consent agenda and voted on separately. For tonight's consent agenda item, we have the July financial reports and check register from Ms. Langley's office. We have a recommendation to carry over funds from the Lieutenant Governor's grant that we received last year. We have a September regular monthly meeting date change from September 10th to September the 12th. We have a revision to the 24-25 academic calendar, and all that does is change the April 18th weather makeup day to April 25th, 2025. Also, we have the Student Due Process Disciplinary Hearing Committees authorizing the superintendent to form those committees. We have the appointment of Lori Woolfolk as the Public Records Officer for the district. And then we have revisions to the Student Code of Conduct, the Muscle Shoals High School Handbook, and the Muscle Shoals Middle School Student Handbook, and all of those for the 24-25 school year, and would all go into effect immediately. And all of those were discussed during the work session, either at this meeting tonight or at a previous work session. So does any board member wish to pull any of those items and vote on them separately? Hearing none, Madam President, I recommend the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Holden. Board, the superintendent has recommended approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I make a motion.
Thank you, Dr. Stoddard. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. We have a motion and a second. Call to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Hearing none. Any opposed? Sorry. Hearing none. Dr. Holden, the motion carries.
All right. Next, we have some board policy action items. It's that time of year when typically the superintendent recommends some changes. We subscribe to the policy pipeline with the Alabama Association of School Boards, and we have watched that and accepted their recommendations for some policy changes for tonight. Most of these changes are fairly simple and just wordsmithing a little bit to make our policies a little bit more concise. And so the first policy revision I'm recommending tonight is to 7.01 curriculum policy. The changes were discussed during the work session as I'll recommend those tonight.
Superintendent has recommended the revision of Board Policy 7.01 on curriculum. Is there a motion to approve this recommendation?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I would just say that I've already disseminated all of these changes out to our stakeholders several weeks ago. Like I said, most of the changes are just merely sort of cosmetic in the wording. Obviously, if you feel the need to table any of these tonight and vote on it later, we can, but I'm recommending immediate approval of this tonight.
Is there any more discussion? Unless I hear a move to table, I will call for vote. Hearing no motion to table, we will vote now. All in favor of approving the policy change recommended, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Dr. Holden, the revision of curriculum policy 7.01 has been approved.
Thank you, Ms. Allman. The next policy revision I'm recommending is to 7.11, graduation and commencement. The new wording continues to be very broad, and that way our local policy can stand even if the legislature changes graduation requirements or maybe develops a new diploma pathway, and I recommend immediate approval.
Thank you. The next policy revision, the superintendent has recommended the revision of 7.11, graduation and commencement. Is there a motion to approve this recommendation?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Stoddard. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Dr. Holden, the revision of the graduation and commencement policy has been approved.
Thank you. The next policy revision I'm recommending is policy 5.07 on employee gifts, and it increases the de minimis value of what is suggested under the ethics law that employees accept as gifts from students to $32 for an individual gift and $64 for the year. And again, I recommend immediate approval of this policy.
Board, the superintendent has recommended the revision of the board policy 5.07, employee gifts. Do I have a motion to approve this recommendation? Thank you, Dr. Stoddard. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Dr. Holden, the revision of the employee gift policy has been approved.
Thank you, Madam President. And the last one is 5.19, the Teacher's Bill of Rights, and we are required by law to have a local policy after the legislature passed the law this year. Our policy is modeled after the sample one drafted by AASB and the State Department of Education. Our attorney has vetted the policy, and our AEA representatives have also had an opportunity for input on the policy, and I recommend it.
Board, the superintendent has recommended the new policy 5.19, the Teacher's Bill of Rights. Is there a motion to approve this recommendation?
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. King. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Dr. Holden, the new policy 5.19, the Teacher's Bill of Rights has been approved.
All right, good deal. Next item is the personnel report, and I recommend the personnel report as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Holden. Board, the superintendent has recommended the approval of the personnel report. Do I have a motion to approve the personnel report as presented?
Make a motion that we approve the personnel report.
Thank you, Mr. King. We have a motion to approve the personnel report. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Stoddard. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, Dr. Holden, the personnel report has been approved.
Thank you, ma'am. And Ms. Woolfolk, that was Mr. Wood that made that motion.
Oh, sorry.
That's good. We just want the minutes to be.
That's right.
That's right. Okay, for the benefit of the audience, the personnel report tonight consists of the following. Under resignation or retirement, this is a supplement-only resignation for Science Olympiad sponsor at the high school, and that's Michael Boatwright. And then Ashley Waldrop, system-wide C&P assistant assigned to the McBride and the middle school, and that'll be effective September the 4th. Under other part-time special appointments, supplemental assignments, and so forth, we had some activity supplement changes or additions since the last board meeting. Jordan Crow will be paid for a supplement from the club itself, Trojans for Heroes. Amanda King will be appointed as the Science Olympiad sponsor for this school year at the high school. And Megan Smith, a Highland Park teacher, will be the middle school Diamond Doll sponsor for 24-25. And then under athletic supplement changes, and some of these will be pending background clearance, as you see noted on your personnel report. Reed Ellis, assistant middle school JV baseball. Clay McGuire, assistant JV middle school baseball. Riley Walgamot, varsity boys basketball assistant coach. That one's paid by the sport. Jeremy Clemens, football assistant middle school. Maggie Hill, softball assistant coach at the varsity level. She will be removed from the middle school JV softball, which we had previously assigned. We're moving her up to varsity. Rayanna James, softball assistant at the middle school. Danielle Hillman, track assistant coach, varsity. And then Connie Fuqua, Andre King, Aaron Good, Edwin Hampton, and Sarah Freeman, all helping with track this year in different capacities, all paid by the sport. And then we have a number of gen ed teachers who assisted with summer student services. You have a list of names there of various people who worked throughout the summer. Then we have Alex King Shaw. She worked the Mark Sears basketball camp as a nurse, and she'll be paid from the middle school office for that work. Missy Cup will be the concession stand manager for the middle school volleyball and basketball seasons. I believe she's done that in the past. Danielle Hillman, gate worker for the high school volleyball games. Candy Hester, gate worker for middle school and high school volleyball games. Tanya Moore, contract interventionist at Webster Elementary for the 24-25 school year. Maria Johnson, Dr. Maria Johnson, EL tutoring for the 24-25 school year, and that won't be effective until October 1 because that's when funds become available, but we may be able to get her in before then on some other funds. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Reagan Holloman, contract speech therapy service, part-time, temporary, no benefits. We added 3 names to the bus driver substitute list, 3 names to the, not 3 names, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5 names, to the band equipment, truck, and trailer volunteer list. We have a couple of names to the added to the Muscle Shoals Trojan football live stream video broadcast crew for away games. And then we did have a clerical error that we cleaned up tonight. Training for 2 nurses, Molly Kate Holloway and Alex King, was actually held on July 29th instead of the date that I think was on the personnel report before. We have 2 employees asking for some medical leave. You see that information listed there. And then we are adding Katie Oakley as a para at McBride through Kelly Services. And I think she's already been working for us, and it just inadvertently had been left off a personnel report, so we got that cleaned up tonight as well. And that was a long personnel report for August, but sorry about that. Did I misspeak on anything, Ms. Woolfolk? Y'all read along with me? All right. So very quickly, just superintendent's report before we get into our budget hearing. Just want to thank everyone for the good start to the school year. Our enrollment, and Sherry may actually have a more specific number during her hearing tonight, but it's right at 3,000. That's what I was going to say tonight. She'll have a more specific number a little bit later. It is starting to feel a little bit like, I was going to say fall until it got triple digits this week, and so it's felt like summer all week, but they teased us, the good Lord teased us a little bit with some fall weather a few days ago. But our fall sports are in full spring: football, volleyball, cross country, our marching band is all in full swing. So, and I don't know about you, but it's really my favorite time of year. I love this time of year. We do have a big football game this week, River Rivalry against Florence. It is senior night. It's Friday night, 7 o'clock, James F. Moore Stadium, and the senior night festivities start around 6:30. So if you want to be a part of that, come on out to James F. Moore. I do want to congratulate Dr. Richard Templeton and Ms. Shanetta Smith. Both will be serving as directors in their respective class affiliate organizations. I got that information from Vic Wilson last week. A couple of employees I want to recognize. One is Madeline Mashburn at McBride. She was the Teacher of the Month last week. Was that last week? But an award given by the Shoals Chamber of Commerce, Northwest Shoals, and Treehouse Dentistry sponsor that. And we've had several employees that have won that. But Madeline, it was nice to be able to be there with her and surprise her. And her class seems like they were really excited for her. I also want to recognize Rose Michael. There was a banquet held today. She was a nominee for Shoals Woman of the Year. Unfortunately, came up a little bit short in that competition, but I know Miss Nichols was able to go, as well as several of her colleagues from Hal Graves, and so I was so glad that they were able to celebrate that with her. I thought we had a great institute. We recognized the longevity of service as far as several of our employees, 10, 15, 20, 25. Our 30-year employees included Connie Jones, Jana Hutchison, Catherine Osteen, and Amy Bracken. Also, the GOAT, Missy Cup, greatest of all time, was given the 40-year mark pin. So we were excited to be able to do that. And incidentally, I have a Trojan Hero pin here tonight to give to you, Dr. Stoddard. Last year, we gave all the board members this pin, and so we wanted you to have it. Appreciate your service on our school board. Let's see, I'm almost finished. I'm sorry. September the 20th, we're looking forward to honoring some of our academic achievements at that football game. We had several students that made perfect scores on the ACAP or various tests as part of the ACAP. We've had several high schoolers make perfect scores on the ACT. So that ball game, September 20th, we're going to designate to recognize some academic achievements before the game. So if you want to come be a part of that, come on. But like I said, we had an excellent institute program. I mentioned that already. I appreciated so much all the retirees that were able to come. I've gotten so many compliments, that they just really felt special that day. They felt honored, they felt appreciated, and I think it really, I know it helped all of us be motivated to start the new school year, but I think it gave them a little extra, encouragement, and they certainly appreciated that. I do thank Ms. Langley for her work so far on the budget. Obviously, there's still more work to do. This is just the first hearing, but I know her staff and the bookkeeping staff, the principals have to do things. It just requires all hands on deck to get her the information she needs to compile a very comprehensive budget. I know there's a lot of work there, and just look forward to finalizing that at the September the 12th meeting. Also appreciate everyone who was able to go on our road trip to Leeds and Pelham and Mountain Brook. We saw some really neat facilities there, some of which we would not be able to build. I just want to go ahead and temper expectations a little bit, but it was nice to see what they did and definitely got some ideas for the type of school that we would want in Muscle Shoals should we get that ability and that opportunity. First school holiday is around the corner, Labor Day, that's coming up. I wish it would cool off a little bit so we wouldn't have a hot Labor Day, but we'll see what the good Lord has in store for us. And lastly, I do need to acknowledge the passing of our buddy Paul Parker. Several of you were at the funeral services for him today. I thought it was a great service, great turnout, and just the show of support for him from the community has been great. I saw Channel 31 even put something out there about it because they were the ones that came when he turned 83. But 23 years as a teacher, 27 years as a substitute, 50 years of service just to this school system. I mean, that's pretty tremendous. And so, we just appreciate him, obviously, and he will definitely be missed. So with that, Madam President, that's all I have. And I think at this time, Mr. Mekas is going to cut the video, and we're going to start it again for the budget hearing. So those will be separate videos. So we'll come back and adjourn our meeting after the budget hearing is complete. So I'll give him an opportunity to do that. I'll give Sherry an opportunity to get set up. Be sure to sign in if you didn't already back there. There's packets of what's presented on the table. You're welcome to take one with you. Anything else? No, I mean, it's on. No, it's on.
Oh, okay.
The hearing is just going to be recorded separately, so.
Okay, so we can adjourn.
Yep.
All right. This concludes our agenda for the meeting. If there's no further discussion, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you very much.